What?
You found the
Okay, no, it's I'm a fast reader.
No.
He was born to Carl Elizabeth Schiller in Winnipeg, Canada, April 21st, 1917. He was a very cute, very precocious baby, and that was according to his mother.
That's a reliable authority.
Right. The family moved to Edmonton, and there he began his world travels. He did it on a bicycle. He did it so well that 50 years after that, we were in Edmonton, and he was interviewed by the newspaper there, and he laid out the whole city as to what was what on each and every corner.
Well, they all back out there.
Right. And he stayed back in Canada, and that's where he had his bar mitzvah. He stayed with his Aunt Sally Gottlieb and her family, his grandmother. His family went on to New York. And Gideon followed shortly thereafter, and he went to high school in New York, to Thomas Jefferson High School, which I understand is your life. You take your life what is it? In your hands when you go into that area now, and it has changed
They
so
had
rapidly.
armed guards there before there were any armed guards.
And then he moved and he lived with his brother Ron at Columbia University. And after he graduated high school at 17, he enrolled in the zoo, and he became a CBT, along with Bubby.
That was because Washington University was $250 a year. And the zoo was only $56 a year.
Well, anyway, he joined and he found girls, and he had a wonderful 5 years there, right?
There were a lot of women that didn't get to.
And then he graduated Mizzou with an A.B. and a Doctor of Jurisprudence. Found out that no one asked him when he was coming back and forth between Canada and the United States whether he was a citizen. It isn't like today where you have to show him your passport. And when he went to take the bar, he found out that he was not a citizen because no one said Gideon was part of the family. So he moved himself to Washington, and he worked as a bill collector and as a tie salesman. And he lobbied Harry Truman and Tom Hennings, and he is a citizen by act of kindness. He met me in 1941. I was 16 and he was 23. And he was so old.
I would have been arrested for molesting a minor.
And he was so old when he called me for a date, I really didn't want to go out with him. But I found out
What do you think now?
that I was wrong, you know? I found out he was just right. And I really fell very madly in love with him, and I still am.
Did I approve when he was so old? What did I say?
Well, he played a good game of gin with her, because I was always late. So she was happy.
She was entertained.
I don't know whether he let her win all the time, but, you know, he was happy. He joined the Army. He went to Seattle, where he investigated ships that came into the harbor. He was a gumshoe, actually. He was in Mufti. And then he was shipped to England, and even there they did...
Explain mufti to the civilians.
It means that you're not in uniform. And then he was shipped to England, and in England they didn't even want him in the Army. They took him out of uniform in Seattle, and then they turned him over to the British for the remainder of the war.
No, I don't think she's got that story straight up.
It is under.
I couldn't find any spies in Seattle, but I did find some racketeering going on at the port, and I wrote a report. And they sent me from Seattle to Liverpool. Seattle was a port of embarkation for going into the Pacific. You can't get from Seattle to Liverpool. Somehow or other, they managed to send me there. Not only did they send me there, when they got me there, they attached me to the British. I was attached to the British Army for 2 weeks temporary duty, and 3 years later they still remember.
Well, he came home in March, and we were married in April.
After waiting 3 years.
After waiting 3 years, right? And then Patty came along in 47, and Tom came along in 48.
Woo! Let's hear it for Dad. He's not here.
And then Gid joined and quite a few others in that year's polio epidemic, and that was in 1952, the year before the Salk vaccine, but he made it to the Leslie election year party, along with 3 other guys who were in the private pavilion with them. It was a great event for us that year. Eisenhower was elected that year. And in 53, we had President Nancy came into the family.
I remember.
And in 54, he moved his office to Creighton, and he was a pioneer. And from then on, on his 90th birthday, I have to say, is we've been very blessed. We've been blessed with our children. We have 13 grandchildren going on 14. Brian coming in. We have great-grandchildren.
We need 4 more husbands.
Busy.
Know anybody?
And me too.
4 wives.
Anyway, we've been very blessed with our family, with our
I don't think my
friends,
brother should read
and I'm really very happy to God bless. Thank you. I've said all good things I'm never going to say anymore.